And William Geen, I appreciate him joining us, of ALIPAC. He's the leader of Americans for Legal Immigration, PAC, or ALIPAC, which is one of the largest grassroots organizations in America, alipac.com, williamgeen.com as well. William, you've heard me going over this. Obama's blaming the Second Amendment for what happens in Mexico, and we know it's armored vehicles and full auto and grenade launchers they're getting. Guys, you pull up Bloomberg, Wachovia, or I'll pull it up, Wachovia, Wells Fargo laundered $376 billion. I mean, they're running all this and then blaming us, and now they want to fully split the country open. William Geen, what's happening?
Alex, first of all, thank you so much for having me on at this very, very critical time. You know, the Senate is about to consider this amnesty bill in 48 hours in front of the Judiciary Committee. And I listened to your lead-in. You were so on the money. You were right on the mark. Maybe not on every detail, but when you describe the United States as facing a form of treason from within or a type of warfare being practiced against the United States citizens, I am so much in agreement with you there. And it's a thing that, as a leader of a national organization, I've become more vocal about over the last several months. I believe the United States faces a constellation of threats. Just like our bodies walking down the street every day face a constellation of risks from accident and disease and microbes, the United States, being what it is, the most valued real estate on the planet, faces a constellation of threats. And the guns, you know, I've been on your program several times over the years, and I've warned people across the country. I said, beware the three nation killers. There are three things they want to do to the country, which our partial political revolution of 2010 held back quite a bit, okay? But now that holdup, that time we bought the country has expired, and they're back. And the three nation killers are free speech. They want people to live like they live in Canada and Mexico as part of this integration. In Canada, William Geen and Alex Jones would have already been yanked in front of a tribunal with the ability to imprison or fine us terribly. If Alex Jones and William Geen were doing what we're doing in Mexico today, we'd probably both be dead long ago. And so they want the freedom of speech down. They want the Second Amendment destroyed, and the American gun laws brought into equilibrium with
They're moving on every front. This is the radical transformation Obama promised. The corporations, the media, the globalists, the communists, this is the full move. This is it. This is the total attack. This is the war. This is the key jump point.
And they've got control of most of the major networks. They've even got Rupert Murdoch of News Corp and Fox News now on board with the amnesty lobby. So I used to be on Fox News all the time. I have not been back on Fox News in 2 years since I announced correctly that the Democrats were going to use large-scale illegal immigrant voters in the western states to stop the Tea Party revolution. That was the last time you heard William Geen on a major national network, because the doors closed to me and many others like me at Fox. They've studied us for several years because they know that my organization, Americans for Legal Immigration PAC, played a key role in defeating amnesty in 2006, 2007, and in 2010.
So now they're lying. We're going to go to break, and I want you to come back and get into this. But what I've seen them as doing is Obama's angering immigrants with his tough new bill when it's total amnesty, basically, and then they call it an anti-immigrant bill. Is that correct?
No, it's not anti-immigrant. That's just the please don't throw me in that briar patch.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, remember what they did 5 years ago when they wouldn't let people read the bill? We're going to talk about what's really in the different versions. You're up there on the Hill. This is coming up for a vote very soon in committee. It's all happening. Internet taxes, you name it.
Hi, this is Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, with some news about some new additions to the InfoWars store. You know, good health is freedom. When you're healthy, you're not a slave to the medical system. Everything works well, your brain, your body, even your spirit. You're a healthier person. And to help support that great health, Alex has asked me to source the cleanest, most potent superfoods and other similar products in the world and bring them to the InfoWars store. So we've done that. The brand name is Health Ranger Select, and we're starting out right now with these three products. We've got Himalayan salt from Pakistan, formed hundreds of thousands of years ago in an ancient seabed long before modern pollution destroyed much of the oceans. This is loaded with trace minerals, and it's pristine, true, full-spectrum sea salt. We've also got Natural Attitude Turmeric. It's an extract of turmeric, very potent, tastes great, alcohol-free. This is from organic turmeric out of India. And we've also got Clean Chlorella. And we sourced and did research on all the chlorella sources around the world, and we found the 2 cleanest sources that have the lowest levels of any kind of contaminants. In fact, this one is virtually free of all metals and all contaminants. It's called Clean Chlorella, and it's about 2/3 protein, and it's got chlorophyll and chlorella growth factor in it. Check it out online. It's an amazing superfood that athletes are using and people are using to help support healthy lifestyles. It's fantastic. This is all packaged in our certified organic facility here in Central Texas. There we follow USDA certified standards, and we're audited every year by the USDA certifier to make sure that we comply with all organic standards. That, combined with the fact that we only source super clean superfoods and raw materials from around the world, means that our products represent the cleanest and most potent products that you'll find across the natural products industry. Check all of these out under the Health Ranger Select brand name at the InfoWars store, InfoWarsStore.com. And we'll be bringing you more of these in the near future. Thanks and take care.
Lindsey Graham, nasty little creature that he is out whitewashing Benghazi while acting like he's exposing it. Graham, I think the dam is about to break on Benghazi. And on his Senate site, on his Facebook, he says, I think the dam is about to break on Benghazi. We're going to find a system failure before, during, and after the attacks, a stand down by the special forces. They were ordered to stand down for 8 hours. Done. We knew when it happened. A week after, it was the al-Qaeda security force hired. I'm going to go back to William Geen on the immigration thing. It's all happening. Internet taxes, open borders, all of it, but we can beat it. Why are they so desperate now? Why are they able to get so many Republicans to go along with this now? And how do we beat this? And what does the immigration bill really do for, why won't they let the public see a copy of it? Why is Senator Sessions saying if we can read it, it will die? Why are they demonizing Ted Cruz for saying we should be able to read it?
Well, I'll answer each one of those in order. But first, I want to thank you again. Back when I encouraged Senator Graham to come forward about his homosexuality secret, I came under a lot of heat across the country, and your show was the first show to, like, give me a fair spin with what I had to say. And I'll always be grateful to Alex Jones' show for that, because I believe that Lindsey Graham will sing and dance any tune the elites want him to the detriment of the American public, because they have the power to put his hidden lifestyle on every major network and destroy him at any moment, whereas we do not have that power.
By the way, 2 days after you did that, I didn't know you were going to do that on air, but you're a respected guy and you're up there on the Hill. He suddenly reversed himself on the immigration issue back to the pro-sovereignty policy.
He did. He withdrew from the negotiations with Janet Napolitano and Barack Obama, and his popularity levels in South Carolina plummeted, because that was part of my trap. I knew that since I was a Tea Party guy, that the press, including Comedy Central, I didn't know it would be Comedy Central specifically, but I would take a lot of heat, which washed over me. It was like flames, but I was untouched by the flames, maybe a couple of singed eyebrows here and there from the calls that I received from angry people, thinking I was just being mean to gay people, which wasn't my intention at all. But Lindsey Graham's approval ratings dropped to unelectable levels. Now, since that time, they've been rebuilding him slowly back up to try to save their brand, save their guy, because he's up for re-election this year. But Lindsey Graham is a traitor against the people of the United States, and him and people like Marco Rubio and John McCain, I don't know what all the elites have on Rubio and McCain like I do Graham, but they'll do and say anything, because these people are just really good at controlling people. Now, that brings us back to how we defeat these people again. How do we stop S-744, which is a nation killer? It is an illegal immigration amnesty neutron bomb, Alex. Senator Jeff Sessions, who I wish so deeply was the president of the United States of America right now, with a VP like Joe Arpaio. Jeff Sessions' office has been scrambling to read through this 844-plus page bill and try to decipher and interpret what it means for the American public. And they found a couple important things. First of all, between the illegal immigrants that it turns into voters eventually, and the increase in legal immigration by 50%, when we're already as a nation at a hyper or historically high immigration level, combined with the new visa programs, 57 million people, predominantly from third world countries, would be allowed to immigrate to the United States or enter with a visa in the next 10 years. I'm going to repeat that, 57 million million, Alex. We've got a population of about 308 million in the country. So look around you. If you're in traffic, if you're in your house, look out your window.
And half the kids in the country right now,
people you see.
Sure, half the kids in the country, I've seen the statistics, are the children of immigrants. This is a total rewrite of America, and it's a rewrite towards third world police states. I mean, this is incredible.
Well, they're bringing in people that are not like the people that have governed America, that founded America, not like the people that have governed America for over 200 years, not like the people that have paid all the taxes for over 200 years, not like the people who have paid the ultimate sacrifice with their own or their children's blood in the wars to protect the U.S. Constitution.
Well, they come from authoritarian countries, and some of them do appreciate freedom because of it, but the vast majority, like 90%, vote once they become citizens to take my guns. How would you leave a country where you couldn't have guns and then come here and take my guns? I guess because they've never had guns, they don't know.
Well, it's not that they're not even literate in their own languages. They have no idea of the American principles and concepts. What you stand for, what I stand for, what 90% of the people out there in America that are indigenous right now, even the people who are liberal, you know, a lot of these people on the left side, the Democrats, they're going to be smiling real big in the first 10 years as Republicans lose everything except for a couple of enclaves in a couple of places. But then their smiles are going to be short-lived when they figured out that whatever their particular issue was, be it the environment, be it gay rights, be it, you know,
oh, my God, this country is going to resemble China. Stay there. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, that's Agenda 21. They're going to keep us in big city reservations. The elite are going to live out in the countryside, helicoptering around. That's their plan.
As we saw in Katrina, and as we are watching now in New York and New Jersey, the federal government can't and won't help you in a crisis. FEMA ran out of water and MREs in days. Electricity is still off to over 1 million people. The Red Cross, who is quick to beg for money, is now slow to react. Don't put it off any longer. Get prepared today. While you're on InfoWarsShop.com, check out these other great preparedness items. The Aquapod kit lets you store up to 65 gallons of water in your bathtub. The Pocket Socket provides you with manual electricity for small electronics like your cell phone. The Life Straw is great for your bug-out bag. And check out our complete line of Interfood products for great tasting and nutritionally dense foods that have a great shelf life. If you are looking to secure your home in a crisis, you can order Strategic Relocations, the film, a great companion to the book Strategic Relocations 3rd edition, and The Secure Home by Joel Skousen. When the time to perform arrives, the time to prepare has already passed. Get prepared now, so if a crisis strikes your home, you and your family will be secure. Go to InfoWarsShop.com.
And again, I know you reap what you sow. I have incredible empathy. I'm not here making excuses for myself. The media spins it like everybody knows we should turn our guns in. Everybody knows GMO's good for you. Everybody knows aspartame's good. Everybody knows there's no side effects for vaccines, kids. You know, they're trying to pass the bill. We're going to have a guest pop in at the end of the show. They're trying to pass it today out of committee, just like California, where the government can say your kid gave consent in a public school to have inoculations. Really, can they give consent to drink liquor or have sex? That's statutory rape. That's contributing to the delinquency of minors. That's common law, constitutionally illegal. And then the Austin police chief wants to make it where illegal aliens basically don't get arrested. He was on the news talking about that, you know, for crimes they commit and stuff. I mean, it's just, or doesn't want them deported. I mean, it is just Twilight Zone because they want the magnet. They want to bring the immigrants here, not to come here and bust their butts and build the country, not to come here and get into the free market, become wealthy, and the people that work hard go to the top. No, they say, come here and just get on welfare. Just vote to take these guys' guns. Hey, you're used to being a slave in Africa or Mexico or Eastern Europe. Come to America. The head of ALIPAC, William Geen, is here, finishing up with this bill, what it does. I mean, especially from what I've seen and what you've written about and what Sessions has said, trying to read it in the last few days, it's kind of a repeat of what the bipartisan bill did before.
Well, it's that plus everything they've ever wanted, you know. And the main key here is first, you know, information is important, but people are almost oversaturated in information. We've got to get people organized. Our main two key points for doing that is our primary website, alipac.us, alipac.us, and a petition site we have at againstamnesty.com. Both of those websites are carrying the information to keep people up to date on this particular bill, the problems with the bill, the full talking points with the bill, and we give people the phone numbers they need to call, what they need to be saying, how they need to be going about it, and we need people to not be paralyzed here. If you can't donate time to make a call, if you can't donate $1 to an organization, you're already neutralized. If you like to hang on and listen in horror as things fall apart, then that's up to you. But we've got to take the people that can still stand. You know, the last 2 months I've had people running the other direction, past me, screaming, or laying there crying in front of me pretty much, saying, oh, they've got us this time, that we're beaten, because the psychological operations, the psyops of the globalists have already neutralized so many people that have immersed themselves in this information. And I've been telling them, look, you don't know the outcome of the battle. But this same thing happened in 2006 and 2007. In the first few weeks or months of the battle, we had people running the other direction saying, oh, the enemy is so superior in finances with this George Soros money and all this stuff. We can't beat them. They've got us. They've got us. We need the people who are willing to march towards the disaster, that are willing to put their hands on the tiger's tail, put their hands around this ancient serpent's neck, and to fight back when the outcome of the battle of whether the Lord is going to preserve the United States or not is still undetermined at this point, and to move forward on these people. We're organizing at alipac.us and against.amnesty.com. Today, we've turned everybody loose calling the Senate Judiciary Committee, which there are links to on our homepage for all of the numbers for those members. That's a battle we think it's most likely we're going to lose, because that committee has been stacked with people like Lindsey Graham and Jeff Flake and the Gang of Eight.
But what about stuff where they advertise to illegals, come have free babies, come get on food stamps? I mean, this is fraud. And again, I can't go to Mexico and get food stamps and a free birth and everything. I mean, and then it's like, you're just not a nice person. It's so incredible. There's Judicial Watch uncovers USDA records sponsoring U.S. food stamp program for illegal aliens, and they advertise it in Mexico. I mean, this is treason. And you know about the North American Union deal 2005 with Bush and Fox and the Prime Minister?
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Alex, because, look, just the other day when the President of the United States was in Mexico, he told, it was reported in ABC News, that he was there to increase economic integration in the hemisphere or the continent. Now, we never voted for that. That would require a treaty by the Senate that's never been passed. The American public has never agreed to further integrate our economies, which means integrating our population.
But Bush signed the deal. Bush signed the deal.
The first one, well, Clinton put the NAFTA into place, and then Bush launched the SPP, Security and Prosperity Partnership, and now Obama has continued. I did a quick search right before coming on your show on Obama economic integration. I found two very fresh things that I want to mention. First of all, from the Christian Science Monitor is praising this, what Obama did. It said President Obama's trip to Mexico will help better integrate the two economies, and a piece of Senate immigration reform bill focuses on integrating the mainly Mexican population of undocumented immigrants. Each country must respect each other's sensitivities on these two integrations. Then the article, which just came out May 1st, goes on to say, very key here, it says, taken together, the president's trip and the immigration reform bill are forcing Americans to come to grips with Mexico and Mexicans in a way not seen since the controversial passage of the North American Trade Agreement.
And what does it mean, come to grips? It's not like Switzerland is bordering us. I would want to border France. It's going bankrupt. It's like bordering North Korea.
Forcing Americans. Right there. Where is that coming from? Forcing Americans. Who in the world is it that is forcing Americans? But there it is, written, third paragraph of the Christian Science Monitor.
No, they admit it's globalism. They are merging the three countries and taking our rights away, and then telling Americans don't be nationalistic, while the Ford Foundation for 60 years has funded the most radical anti-American nationalism the world has ever seen in Mexico. Let's just be honest about this. And folks, you think your taxes are high now, the guns, everything, it's gone. We are going to collapse, which is the plan. I mean, this is, folks, it is like it is like jumping into a sinking ship. And again, they love it. They absolutely love it because the globalists are exempt from all of this. How do we beat it? Because, you know, they said we couldn't beat the gun bill, and they'll stage something else, or, you know, there'll be some new shooting. They're going to come back. But, you know, we have got to beat them now on this.
Here's our last shot, and I mean our last shot at this, okay? If we can slow this bill down, which we've already done, those of us already fighting through AliPac.us and AgainstAmnesty.com, we've helped slow this bill down. And every day that we can slow it down, every day we can get another Alex Jones show out there on this topic. Every day people learn more about the national biometric ID in the bill, the $9 trillion price tag on the bill, the the waivers for all of the enforcement language.
Yeah, let me stop you. Let me stop you. Again, the other bills had that before, where we all get basically a North American ID, and we've already seen the ads for 5 years. They already issue a North American ID. I mean, this is the total. This is it. This is the end of America.
We have one more chance if we can stop this bill. Now, if we stop this bill, I think there's probably a 70% plus chance that Obama will engage in further dictatorial, unlawful, unconstitutional activities unless our current lawsuit that the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Union is showing some promise with a Texas judge. Obama will probably just try to make it happen anyway. Our goal at AliPac is to kill this bill, stop this bill, educate more people, and instead of letting them go to sleep, take the energy of the gunfight that just happened, take the energy of Benghazi Gate that has built up, take the energy of the resistance to the illegal alien amnesty overthrow of the American Republic, and channel everything we've got into the 2014 elections. The 2014 elections will be our last shot to take civilian control of the United States government back over. And we've got, look, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham is on the chopping block. If we get a good, well-financed, well-organized candidate to run against Lindsey Graham in South Carolina, and I go down there and stir things up enough, you know, hey, we might be able to take him out. The people of office, the people in Arizona, please, people, you did so great with the immigration legislation, and now you sent us back John McCain and Jeff Flake. And I know that John McCain and Jeff Flake not only lied to you guys in Arizona, but they lied to you with over $30 million spent on their campaigns. And Rubio lied to you. We got to go after the liars. And let me tell you, the main ones we need to go after are the Republican liars, Alex. Now, granted, most Democrats are against this thing, too. But the poll numbers show us that 80% of Republicans are against, in truth, if truth be known, what Lindsey Graham is doing, what Marco Rubio is doing. And since we're so disadvantaged with opposition having all these billionaires and millionaires like George Soros on their side, I am targeting the Republicans. And I'll tell you something else. I got a little bit more respect for a Democrat that I disagree with. It has some lame globalist Star Trek New Generation idea about, oh, we just need to merge everything. At least they're being more open about it. I have more contempt for the Marco Rubios of the world and the John McCains and the Jeff Flakes that go around lying to everybody. Their entire job is to sit there and lie to people and deceive people on the biggest scale of them all. And so I have more contempt for them, including in my home state of North Carolina.
Well, I mean, I want to say this. Listen, they are going to take the guns. They've set up Homeland Security, teamed up with all these foreigners who think they're part of the government to come after everybody. And it is going to be a civil war because, look, they plan to have a war with us. Even if we lay down, they're coming to get us. Well, so I hope people realize...
ammo supply drain and the fact that they've got us cornered and things like that. But my thing is, it's politics, okay? There still is a peaceful political hope here. If enough Americans...
No, I know. I'm just saying we're not here trying to scare people. I don't have words to describe how dire our straits are.
Well, you remember the part of the movie when John Connor's in Crystal Peak and he figures out that it's going to happen and things are going to get terrible and he's just going to do the best he can with a little ham radio to keep people organized and do what he can? You know, that's what this feels like. But we've got to do what we can because even, you know, politics failing to the degree they have, that's unacceptable.
Well, by the way, the good news is hundreds of millions of guns are getting bought, 70 million plus just on record in the last few years. We're buying billions of rounds. People are awake, and I mean across the board. The liberty message to white, black, Hispanic, Asian, people that we can at least talk to. Who don't,
that can all be avoidable. That can all be
No, I know, but that shows that I understand we need to beat the bill. But what I'm saying is it shows that people fundamentally know we've got a crook government. But I mean, the government is crazy.
People fear this government, and it goes back to Thomas Jefferson. You know, when people fear the government, there is tyranny. There is tyranny. That's why Obama's talking about it to little student groups and saying, beware the voices that preach about government tyranny. What an anathema. What an anathema to the intrinsic American experience his comments are. And when he talks, it's clear to those of us that can see the matrix here that he doesn't talk like he's even one of us or a United States citizen at all. He talks about us and our Second Amendment rights as if it's something alien that he is just forced into paying homage to because he swore an oath and he's going to pretend like he...
Well, no. That's the tactic. Bloomberg says, I'm the biggest supporter of the Second Amendment. That's why it means you turn them in. They do that to neutralize opposition. It's like NDAA. I'm not going to sign it. So there's no opposition. Then it turns out the White House wrote it and he did sign it. I mean, it's all deception. And I believe and I know they're moving at Mach speed now because they're behind about a decade. Even their own tacticians like Brzezinski say that. And they can see that liberty is growing in the minds of Americans across the board.
Well, you ask why now? Why now is this. But since the last election, and this 1 year before the next election cycle really takes grip, which is usually about January, will be about January 2004. If we can stop this bill from passing prior to January 1st of 2004, I predict it will not pass. And that is giving us a hint.
You mean 2014?
Excuse me, yeah, right, 2014. And that gives us the hint of what we've got to do to turn it off. What we've got to do right now is locate all the traitors, all of the people pushing this invasion, pushing this nation-destroying amnesty invasion, including Republicans like Congressman Ted Poe from Texas, who we thought was on our side, who now suddenly pops up and says he supports path citizenship for illegal aliens. Wow. You know, we've actually had three. It's been embarrassing and shocking, but after 8 years of operations, we've had to rescind 3 endorsements in the last
No, you know why? Because look, you're finding out who's real now. The system is uncloaking. They are going for it all now. And 2014 is everything, ladies and gentlemen. And we have, I mean, listen, I've had these rallies, you know, against the illegal alien rallies where they're saying America's bad, you know, Mexico. And I've gone to those rallies, and a lot of Hispanic Americans have shown up with me saying, you know, I get it. I'm a truck driver, and since the Mexican trucks have been let in, my money's been cut in half. No, I get it. And it doesn't even help Mexico. I mean, why are the mega rich for this like Warren Buffett? Because he wants to bankrupt America. The guy gets banker bailout money. The guy is a crook. I mean, this guy shut down the Keystone Pipeline to Texas from Canada. These people have invested in China. They've invested in Mexico in the slave factories. They're done. They hate American freedom. I mean, it's so simple. Closing comments. What do we do? Who do we call? How do we stop this?
We get on board at allypack.us. We call and bombard the Senate and Congress with calls against the bill. But at the same time, we need enough people, volunteers and supporters, to fully launch our Canada operations of 2014 now. Let these lawmakers like Lindsey Graham and Ted Poe and other people all of a sudden hear from people in their district, hey, Congressman Poe, did you hear some guy named Danny Smith is going to run against you because you now support amnesty for illegal immigrants? What? Yeah, he's already
this is North American Union. And should they also call the committee? Should they call... Should they call
the Judiciary Committee, every member of Congress, every member of Senate, and keep those calls rolling and intensify them, spread the word on social media, internet, and talk radio, and help us start finding candidates.
Yeah, and I want to explain something to the gun lobby. The NRA should be against amnesty because Mexico, which is the main group of immigrants, has no Second Amendment. 90% in the polls I've seen end up voting illegally, or when they become citizens to take the guns.
Well, they will have trouble with some of their supporters if they try to dilute or change their issue. ALLYPAC, Americans for Legal Immigration PAC, while we don't have the budget that the NRA does or the numbers just yet, we are the NRA of illegal immigration.
No, I know you are. That's why you're on this. But what I'm saying is that we need NRA members to get it through their head. Folks, this is it. This is North American Union. They've done this in Europe. They've done this in other areas. They flood the country with people, put them on welfare, and then convert the country to socialism. And the ultra-rich are then exempt from the taxes, as is coming out in France. And they want authoritarianism. This is
They do, and they're bringing in people that hate the predominant indigenous people of the United States, of European and Christian descendancy types, that are the type that have stopped the billionaires before, stopped the banks before, stopped the type of tyrannies before. You're talking about the number one group of people that have enjoyed freedom and prosperity in world history here in the United States that are being targeted within our
Well,
own
I'll say
country.
this. I want to export liberty to all these countries, and I found that we're able to wake people up, but not if there's the language barrier, and that's why the melting pot has been overloaded to do this. The head of AliPac, we appreciate William Geen joining us. The fight is now. Thank you, sir. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.